Okay, we're good. Okay, let me go in here just a minute and get rid of this other stream I goofed on. Okay, it didn't. Okay, we're good. It didn't goof it. Hey, folks, how is everyone today? Let
Ducks,
me
Anthony.
shareable
I
link.
think Matt had to step away for a while. Someone was pulling up his drive. I think Grasshopper's here.
World War III is kicking off, folks.
Wonder where Christy is. She's normally here.
World War III is full steam ahead. It's here. World War III, folks. It's here. Sadly, I was hoping that it wouldn't come. It's here. Hey, Norway, how are you today? Over here on my U-boats. Folks, we was just showing everybody on Rumble here a minute ago of the damage at, well, I guess this, wouldn't you consider it the former headquarters of the Fifth Fleet now? Since they have moved to Diego Garcia?
Might say that.
This is, well, what's left of the headquarters of U.S. Fifth Fleet.
Might say that.
You've
Oh,
got
sorry.
well,
Yeah.
what's left
Sorry.
of the headquarters of U.S. Fifth Fleet. Um, he's just showing you all the satellite pictures, and it's a lot of damage, folks. I'll run over again here. Now, this is why our ships are not getting resupplied, and all
You
this
may have put
stuff
a link
coming
of that
out.
to the U-boob in all call.
It's over already, Charlie.
Okay.
And this is the reason why these reports are coming out that there is shortages and packages that families are sending and stuff is not arriving on our ships over there because we have nowhere to send it to and then put it on whatever they're bringing it over on to the ship. The closest spot now is 2,200 miles away in Diego Garcia or in Europe. Right here was the warehouse. Now, this is from March 1st, which is it's a little old now, but this is a large warehouse complex and two destroyed SATCOM terminals. Right there was the terminals. That's the ones that has like the big golf ball looking thing on top of them. And there's a major, major warehouse. Now, folks, these little dots over here are tractor and trailers. If that gives you an idea of how big this place is. Now, from my research, what I have went into, this is where everything was staged. This was the main resupply hub. right here. This giant warehouse for ships. So, and here is another photo of that. Here's a really good photo of it. See, this building's right here, they're full of scrapnel or whatever.
They're totally gone.
Yeah, it's done. And you can see a better picture of the semi-trailers right
It's
here.
2 o'clock.
Vehicles. That's how big this place is, folks. Now, these are multi-panel satellite views of red boxes marking multiple impact sites, including warehouse, terminals, and other buildings. There you go. Now, I'm not for sure what this building is, but it's really tall, and it's got a lot of stuff on the roof, and it has been hit right there. This one missed by a minute, but not far.
It's been hit several times.
Right there's the impact site. This missile or whatever missed. Not by far though. There's another warehouse. These warehouses are just gone. There's damage over here on this. Now, here's the 2 golf balls. These are the SATCOM systems. Gone. But yep, unlike most people do, they just try to tell you, we bring you pictures. It's actual satellite pictures. They're Planet Labs is one of them.
Yeah, I was just going to ask whether those were civilian satellite
Yeah,
companies.
they're civilians. But that goes into let me get repost here. I hate that they completely went through this. U.S. Navy ship carrying 300 sailors. This is the ship that suffered the complete engine failure over in the South China Sea area. Well, it was the generators that supplied the power to the ship. U.S. Navy ship carrying 300 sailors suffered a major breakdown, losing power for 4 days. The crew spent days without drinking water, meals, functioning toilets, and air conditioning. Could you imagine how hot it got in that ship?
Do you have any idea how many people were stationed there at Bahrain at that
I'm not for
base,
sure.
that port?
Who, Sherry? Who? Are you talking about Russia or Iran? Russia? It's a possibility when this kicks off with the Baltics. If Russia sees that they're losing, they're going to lash out. This is Russia's last big hurrah, should I say. This is coming to an end here. But this is Russia's last big hurrah. And a trap that was set with Iran to bog us down over there. And that has let Russia, that took our concentration off of all this and let Russia move everything around, get everything ready. China's doing the same thing. China, when this kicks off in Europe, it'll probably be springtime. This is just, I'm just guessing here, so do not hold me to any of this. Around springtime, I think, is when China will start making its move. I don't think they're going to come out and attack Taiwan directly. I think that they're doing naval blockade, and they're going to go after South Korea and Japan first. That's just my thoughts. Now, Iran has weighed attacking U.S. military targets in Europe should President Trump escalate the war. Iranian forces have reportedly assessed striking U.S. assets in southeastern European cities, such as Bulgaria. Let me get this right here. Let's pull this up. Let's do this. Okay. Give you all. Look at that pretty sky today, folks. I'm at one camera. The Sky North Airport. Top right. Look at that. That's just beautiful. Absolutely. It's gorgeous. Now, where is. There it is. Look at that. I'll pull that over a second. Check that out. At the different layers of clouds there. You got your low ones and your high ones. I'm not for sure what all that's called. Do you know, Charlie?
Cumulus, cumulonimbus,
The
stratus of high ones,
okay. So the low ones is
nimbus, and then
nimbus.
the popcorn ones are like cumulus and cumulonimbus.
Okay. You see
And
them
then
right there on
those
camera.
striated ones that are high are called cirrus.
Okay. Well, you see them on the screen.
Oh yeah,
That is just beautiful, folks. We had a sunset the other day that I
I saw
showed you
that.
all, and it was just yours. I took some photos of it. I want to make it some background on something. Also, we're getting ready to put some video up on the RC channel. I've got some little RC content, and I'm gonna start video on my stump grinding and posting it over there too on the RC channel. Kind of gives some. It's really relaxing. We need y'all's help really on that channel over there to for watch hours very, very badly. We've got to get our watch hours up. Same way with this channel. Go in there and let our past broadcasts run, folks. Put them on a playlist and watch them all.
How
If
many hours does YouTube require now?
3,000, but they're fixing to double it.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. The first
That'll
of the
take a
year.
while.
That's the reason why I need your all's help. We need 3,000 is to get super chats. We need 4,000 hours of watch time to get monetized again over here. So if 10 of you will go over and watch for 30 hours, that'll get us. And there's probably about 30 hours of streams over there on this channel. All right, let's move on here. My microphone's a little bit loud. Let me fix that. Do 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 do. Testing,
Okay.
testing. I think we're good now.
Mine okay?
Yeah, you're good. But I'm gonna let my helper read this. What are you doing, sir? I don't want that in the full screen. Can you not? Have you updated the same junk on this other one? Have I lost my reader? I think I have. Yep. Switch back to side view. View. Side panel. There we go. Updated junk, man. They update it and break it. All right, listen to this, folks.
1. Iranian forces have reportedly assessed striking U.S. assets in southeastern European countries such as Bulgaria. 2. Cyprus, where a British airbase was struck by a drone in March, was also among potential targets for retaliation in the event of any renewed U.S. offensive. 3. Iranian forces have also reportedly considered attacking subsea fiber optic cables in the Strait of Hormuz in the event of an escalation. Iran is ready to expand its range of targets should the war escalate again.
And it's fixing to escalate. Also, China has been caught putting some type of wire down around all of communication wires around Taiwan. Now, I've got some information on that, and I'll find it here in just a few, and we will show it to you. Now, let me get this stuff squared back away here a minute. Give me a second, folks. I don't know why that pole camera is doing that. I'm gonna have to go out there and work on it. I'm going to get the critter cams up and going too on Chicken Run here shortly.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to enjoy that.
Now, folks, what I'm showing you here is some video from Chile. Now, look at that water coming down. They've had some extreme flooding in Chile. South Korea's seen extreme flooding. North Korea has responded about Trump saying that he got along real good with North Korea. Now, let me get my microphone. That's better. Sorry, folks. I may have been a little bit on the quiet side there for a minute. North Korea has responded, and I'm too loud. North Korea has responded. Kim Jong-un ding-a-ding ding dongs, whatever you want to call him. Kimmy. I'm gonna call him Kimmy.
Little rocket man.
I'm gonna have to set me a max decibel on this mic when I get done with the stream today. Because 1 second it's too quiet, and the next second it's too loud for some reason. Anyway, Kim Jong-un's sister has responded as for the sudden announcement a few days ago by the U.S. president of the
She's like second in command, didn't she?
Yeah, of the scaling back of U.S.-South Korea joint military exercises. We do not think it's even worth commenting on, and I feel no interest in it whatsoever. Yeah, she's next up if something happens to Kimmy. And then Kim Jong-un is training his daughter too. Well, folks, China has completed its first phase of construction on the Antelope Reef in the disputed South China Sea. They're saying that it's going to be for civilian activities. We all know better than that. As you can see, they've done got the thing right here. This is going to be the runway over here. This is going to be the runway right here. They've come in here and carved out the whole center of this thing. Made it a deep water. They've created an area 6-kilometer long artificial island with a deep water harbor that could become a runway, which I just showed you that section there. It's perfect for a runway. That's exactly what it's going to become. It's no possibility it will be.
Is that a coral, a atoll, or natural, or is that a man-made island?
It's a coral.
Okay.
It's called Antelope Reef.
Oh, okay.
They've
I'll
went
look that
here
up.
and they've destroyed it. What's they've done? All this reef surrounding it, all this coral and stuff will die now. Sadly, they've destroyed it. They've carved out the whole center of it right here. Why is my microphone doing that? I'm gonna have to work on this. But they've carved out the whole center of it here and made a deep water port. You can see the entrance right here.
I just put a link there for folks if you want to check out more about Antelope Reef.
Now, this is a little lesson from history. Everyone should know about this, folks. And this is exactly what's going on right now. I'm going to let my little helper read this off.
It's in the Parcel Islands,
Listen.
or
Lessons from
Paracel
history.
Islands.
I'm going to let my helper. In the Partial Islands.
Yeah.
Charlie.
400 kilometers from Da Nang, Vietnam.
Okay. Let's see here. Do we want to pull up? Let's look here. Also, we're going to get into the flights too that's happened around Kaliningrad today.
Okay.
We've also got a P8.
Technical issues. Speaking of technical issues, I don't know what's going on with YouTube lately. I cannot keep the stream live.
They're messing with stuff, Charlie. Now, this is interesting. This is not what it says it is. I do not think. I do not think that's an F-35. I do not think it is. That I've got on screen right here. Let me pull it up full screen for you all to see. Wrong one. This one. Now, Flight Radar is saying it's an F-35 Lightning. It's a good possibility. It's traveling at 518 miles an hour. It's a good possibility that it is. But where is the support aircraft for it? And it's came over here, and it's done like ISR flights around Kaliningrad. You see these flights right here, especially this one. That's looking at something over in here.
Most airliners go about 500 miles an hour.
It could
Mach
be.
0.8.
I think it's a P8, but these maneuvers it has made over here, these real tight maneuvers, it could be an F-35 or something. I don't think a P8 can turn that tight. Now, it could be a P8. And it's got real low out here and looking for subs or something.
Yeah, some of those are pretty tight turns.
They are. Chat, what is your well, Norway, go out there and look. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is if it's over top of you. Is it a P8? F-35? What is it?
I see YouTube is up to its stuff again about weird things in the chat.
Yeah.
You know? You see
Norway
that?
says it's an F-35. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you, Norway.
And it's
nothing like on the scene information.
It's just so interesting, this pattern right here that it done. Have they fitted this thing with some ISR components? Because this is a typical ISR flight path. Right here. What it's done. I think if it's an F-35, they have fitted it with some type of reconnaissance systems, which they've got pods that they can attach to the wings and stuff, underbellies. And that kind of goes back to what happened the other day. You all remember the RC-135 that squawked 7,700 and then broke pattern and went back, landed in the UK? And that it was over here when it done that. It's a good possibility that Kaliningrad has fired another missile at it. Russia. They done the same thing over Black Sea a while back. It's what? When was that? 2023, Charlie?
Don't remember.
2024? Well, they fired a missile at that RC-135. That is interesting. I'm going to send a picture of this.
So you've been watching that Norway, huh? You said it got fueled in Poland.
See, I think this right here was the refueling path. Right here. It's made up of something right here and refueled. Well, of course, hey, you know what? We can go back and look. Let me send a picture of this to Lee. A second.
Thank you very much, Norway, for reporting to us. While you're doing that, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the little boy's room.
It is interesting. Very, very interesting. That path. So we'll keep that up. That P8's going up here somewhere, folks. Look at that. It has been. Russia is moving some more ships, also, folks, from reports I've seen into the Baltic area. Now, we're going to start seeing more of this. These are drones, and they're patrolling the border with Belarus. They're Latvia. We're going to start seeing more of this. Latvia has discovered a few smuggling tunnels from Belarus into Latvia. That was been reported, what I seen today. And these tunnels, I've talked about these before. These tunnels is how they're going to sneak in places. The little green men. They're just going to show up inside of Latvia for all these tunnel systems they have dug. But they really, something happened a couple days ago that has really, spooked NATO in the Baltics. We went from seeing hardly any ISR flights to almost a dozen ISR flights at a time. It's just crazy. And now we've got F-35s over here. So weird. F-35, it's looking at stuff. They've got some type of ISR pods, and I will get more information on this and get back to you all. Okay, let's go back to what I was originally going to do. We're going to do lessons from history. Everybody should know. And I'm going to pop that out over here. That way you all can watch this. What I'm going to do is we're going to go back to this string right here. I should have another window.
You going to do a time lapse?
Huh?
You going to do a time lapse?
No,
showing it?
I'm just pulling another window up here. That way people can have. What was I going to pull up? I think it's that. Okay. We're going to pop this. Need to transform this to stretch. Just like that. And then I come over here and transform that. Okay. Here we go. Now this is lessons from history. And this is exactly what's happening again.
Lessons from history. Everyone should know how the U.S. kept
Why is that so?
saving Russia. In the 1920s, Russia was devastated by famine and turned to the United States
Hey, Hill
for help.
Walker, good to see you
I'm
today.
playing
America
Good
sent
phone.
massive
Charlie.
amounts of food and humanitarian
sorry.
aid,
I can't
helping
hear it,
save
so.
millions from starvation. Soon after, the Soviet regime consolidated its power and rebuilt its empire. In the 1930s, the USSR desperately needed Western technology and expertise to industrialize. American companies, engineers, and specialists helped build factories and modernize Soviet industry, industrial capacity that would soon become crucial to its military machine. Then, in 1939, the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, secretly divided Eastern Europe into spheres of influence, and invaded Poland from opposite sides. World War II had begun. In 1941, Hitler turned against Stalin and invaded the Soviet Union. Once again, Moscow desperately needed American help. And America delivered, on an enormous scale. Through Lend-Lease, the United States supplied the USSR with trucks, aircraft, locomotives, food, fuel, raw materials, and other equipment essential to its war effort. But after Nazi Germany was defeated, yesterday's beneficiary quickly became America's enemy. The Cold War began. In 1991, President George H.W. Bush tried to prevent the rapid disintegration of the Soviet Union. In his infamous Chicken Kyiv speech, he warned Ukrainians against what he called suicidal nationalism. Ukraine chose independence anyway. The Soviet Union collapsed months later. Then Russia pushed Washington to help remove Ukraine's enormous inherited nuclear arsenal. In 1994, Ukraine surrendered those nuclear weapons and joined the Budapest Memorandum framework in exchange for security assurances from the United States.
And the Budapest Memorandum, right there, we have not held up our end of the deal. Back to the video.
States, the United Kingdom, and Russia, including commitments to respect Ukraine's independence, sovereignty, and existing borders. Russia later violated every meaningful part of that commitment. And now we are watching the same pattern again. Russia wants Washington to pressure Ukraine into surrendering territory that Russia failed to conquer outright. History keeps delivering the same lesson. America repeatedly helps Russia survive a crisis. Russia recovers, rebuilds its strength, and eventually uses that strength against its neighbors, and often against the West itself. As the old saying goes, you can feed the wolf all you want, but it will always look toward the forest.
There you go. You can feed the wolf all you want, but it will always walk towards the forest. And that's exactly what Russia's doing. All right. The bond market is broke, folks. The U.S. has announced they're going to double their liquidity buybacks of long-term bonds from $2 billion per operation to $4 billion starting September 9th. This is what I have been warning you of. This is going to be a bad, bad mess. Japan has just dumped $26 billion in treasuries. Nobody wants our debt, folks, and we're having to buy our own debt back. Now we're going from a pace of $2 billion per operation to $4. What's your thoughts on that, Charlie? If you're talking, your microphone's muted, Charlie.
No, I don't know right now. I'm struggling to keep this thing live. I just have
Don't
my
worry
mic
about it.
muted.
We're just yakking here. Go
And
on Rumble. What is your thoughts about that? Us doubling
Japan dumping
the bonds, and the U.S. announcing that it's going to double from $2 billion per buyback to $4.
remember, not too long ago, they put out they said it was a huge apology, but they didn't want to, but they had to.
Yep. This is robbing Peter to pay Paul, is what the U.S. is doing right now. And it never ends well once you get into that situation.
Kind of like floating a check.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what we're doing. They're literally borrowing short-term money to buy back their own long-term debt. Classic desperation move. Bond prices spiked. Yields crashed 9 to 10 basis points, and futures ripped higher the second the news dropped. That's the reason the stock market is doing what it's doing today. Crypto's up massively. Bitcoin has gained like 7% today. And all these little meme coins like Bonk,
Yep.
it's up almost 4%.
Doggy coin and all that crap.
Doge is up 3.65%.
Hey, what's SpaceX doing?
It's down 2% today. $140.
That's better than it was doing.
Yeah. Shiba is up 2%. Meow coin is up 6%. What is this? I've got a bunch of this stuff.
Yeah,
Flare,
I hold a little bit of Solana.
yeah. Flare coin is up almost 5% today. PP corn is up almost 5%. Bonk is up almost 4%, and Flocky is up almost 5%.
What's Solana doing?
I don't own no Solana. I can look though right fast. Let's see here. Let me get my computer less. It's a little laggy. Solana's up almost 7% today. It's up $5 a share. I mean, coin.
Good.
We
Me?
might be fixing to see a bull run in the crypto, which I wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't either.
All right. But yeah, this I'm gonna let my reader read this, because this needs to be really carefully watched, because this really can end up in a complete disaster and cause hyperinflation inside the US very easily. Very, very, very easily, folks. I want to pull up this because I want to go into here a minute. Now listen a minute to this.
The bond market just broke. Japan dumps $26 billion in treasuries while America is buying back its own bonds. Today, the U.S. Treasury admitted the long end of the bond market is broken. Nobody wanted the 10-year, 20-year, or 30-year debt. The 30-year yield just slammed into its highest level since 2007, peaking near 5.33%. So what did they do? They announced they're at least doubling their liquidity buybacks of those exact long-term bonds, from a $2 billion max per operation to $4 billion plus starting September 9th. They're literally borrowing short-term money to buy back their own long-term debt. Classic desperation move. Bond prices spiked, yields crashed 9 to 10 bps, and futures ripped higher the second the news dropped. Meanwhile, Japan, still the #1 foreign holder of U.S. Treasuries, is dumping them to fund currency interventions. The BOJ and finance minister threatened of bold actions to save the yen. BOJ's Yudo apologized for the measures being prepared. June data just showed Japan cut holdings by another $26.4 billion, down to $1.117 trillion. That follows the massive joint US-Japan yen buying intervention in late July that burned tens of billions of dollars trying to stop the yen from hitting 40-year lows near 164. The yen has already given back more than half those gains and is back above 159. When the biggest foreign buyer is selling treasuries to defend its own currency, and the U.S. government is forced to step in and buy its own unwanted long bonds, this isn't market support. This is the system flashing red. The famous City of London banker, at Lord Belgrave, had already warned about the planned debt, oil plus currency financial crisis at the start of the year. It is now being executed. Yields are the gravity of everything: your mortgage, stocks, crypto, gold. The can just got kicked harder and farther. Don't look away.
Folks, we've got 4 E6s up right now over the US. Now, this is what I talk about sometimes. You see this little aircraft right here? It's just a generic aircraft. It's saying NA, empty call sign. And it's just a weird looking little aircraft. That is not what it's an E6. It's an E6B Mercury. You can tell by the flat paths it takes. There's 2 of them up right now. This one and this one, along with this one and this one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4 E6s up right now. Now we have a B-52 that's landing up here north of Lake Erie. It looks like it's landing. I don't know if it is or not. But it came from Louisiana. We've got a MQ-4 drone doing patterns off the coast of South Carolina. That'd be North Carolina. We've got a P-8 way off the coast down here doing something. We've got a B-52 up over Louisiana. We've got a B-52 up over Texas. And then we have one up here. And 4 E6s airborne. Which is it's a lot.
Yeah.
We got one of the new replacements for Air Force One right here, or the E-4B, whichever you want to say. Crane 01 is up. They're replacing some of that stuff. I'm not. Oh, look here. No, that's not an E6. But look at that. That is weird. We'll keep an eye on that. But 99% of the time, these it says NA and it's a generic looking plane is an E6. Now this one took off from, looks like DC, flew down here off the coast. Then it flew all the way up here. As you can see, this confirmed path right here flew over Billings, Montana. Then came down to Idaho Falls. I'm trying to see if it's pinged right here somewhere. It definitely pinged here somewhere. Took off from there, flew up here around, landed in Omaha. I guess it got refueled and then took off again.
That's a lot of activity.
Now, this other one took off from DC, went out here. I was wrong. This one right here took off from DC, went straight out over here to Billings, and then landed, refueled in Omaha, went off again. This one took off from DC, went out off the coast of Myrtle Beach here area, and then it showed back up over here.
Retro Spark says
Interesting.
that B-52 was probably associated with an upcoming air show
Could be.
in Canada.
Okay. Interesting. And that would explain these aircraft are here in this line that is coming over here. These are shellcraft, as you can see right here on the picture. See how pretty they are? Nice, pretty painted. You can see them. See it right here?
Hmm.
This
Yep.
is the snowbirds. That's Canada's version of what are they called? Charlie, help me here.
I don't know.
Our
Kind of reminds me of a T8.
you know the blue whatever Blue Angels
Oh,
or
the Thunderbirds and Blue Angels.
the ones that does the air shows in the U.S.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
Thunderbirds and Blue Angels.
yeah that's Canada's version of snowbirds.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it looks like a T8.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's
also known as F5.
It's a CL-41. It's a Chinese, not Chinese, but Canadian version. It's a CL-41. Royal Canadian Air Force. It's a Canadair CT-114 Tudor is what they are. Right there. Canadair CT-114 Tudor. It's snowbirds. Do we have anybody up here in Canada that would be wanting to go over there and do some videoing? I will send you a link to the stream key, and you can send me the video, and we'll do it live.
That'd be
It's
cool.
just little
That'd
information.
be fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
To anybody that's interested in doing anything like that, I can set up a stream on Rumble, send you the stream key, and you just punch it in and hit live, and it automatically sends the video to our servers. Just a little FYI for anybody that would want to do anything like that in the future. Especially if you got like major disasters, flooding, stuff like that. All right, let's ease on down through here a minute. Okay, let's pull. I want to go back over here. Well, hang on, man. We'll just do it this way. We can switch back and forth. Okay. Now we've had the CL-60 take a good look see over here at Crimea and areas over here, Sochi, Russia. Now, kind of interesting. This was 9 hours ago. We had three sentries up over Europe. One up next to Kaliningrad, one over here went up towards Denmark, and then one over here next to Moldova. Now, them three E3 sentries can cover the entirety of Europe, folks. They can see everything in the air and on Europe's eastern flank.
Those are the ones with the big radar dome that rotates on top.
Mm-hmm. We had a huge NATO activity today across Europe, in particular near Kaliningrad, however you want to pronounce it.
Isn't that interesting?
Why is I've got to work on my microphone settings, but anyway, particularly near Kaliningrad and the Baltic Sea, as well as the high north of Norway. Reports suggest submarine reconnaissance is ongoing as well as, again, A close look at Russian activity around Kaliningrad. It's just kind of amazing. We told you all that stuff was going to heat up. It's right on time. Something major has changed. What has happened is Nato. Hang on a second, I'm trying to eat a fudge round. NATO has come to the conclusion that Russia is fixing to do something very stupid. That's what's happened. We just had a
It seems
five.
like today they've been pretty interested over in that area.
We just had a 5.0 earthquake over next to Fiji. But yeah, they're very interested in the Baltics area.
And rightly so.
Yep. I mean, Russia is they're getting ready to invade the Baltics. It's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. And by this uptick in activity, I'm going to say we're getting very close. And I told you all that it was going to be towards the end of 2026, early 2027. Now, how long ago did I say that, Charlie?
A long time ago.
It's been a couple
6 months
years.
anyway. Oh, has it been years?
It's been a couple years
I
since.
mean,
Yeah,
I remember you talking about it a lot
yeah.
6 months to a year ago.
But I've brung it up a few times over the last couple years.
Of course, we've been talking about the gap off and on for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And they're fixing to do it. All the satellite pictures coming out. I'm gonna go pull them here in a minute and we'll take a good look-see. All the satellite pictures coming out of Kaliningrad. They're putting drone netting over everything. They're moving additional air defense systems in. Russia's buildup of troops over the tip of Belarus is almost complete. There's a
You know,
giant.
you were talking earlier about all that stuff that is appears to be in Cuba, drones and things.
Mm-hmm.
To your knowledge, have we here in the States, like in Florida, Texas, Louisiana, and all those places, have they been doing anything at all to prepare
No,
any kind of? That's just crazy.
no. See, we used to have some um, coastline defense systems. And if I recall right, Obama got rid of a bunch of them.
Oh, but according to somebody we know, there's this big, beautiful ocean.
Oh, yeah. Big, beautiful ocean between us. That ocean also separates Iran, too. But anyway. Now, this woman right here spent 2 weeks in jail due to a flock camera. Um,
People are turning really, really against them, man. They're tearing them down. I was reading a story the other day where they were shooting at them,
yep.
and I got to watch my language here on YouTube,
Yep.
but they were doing that. Not only just trying to tear them down, but they were like nug at them.
Mm-hmm. Well, this flock camera ID'd her vehicle in an incident of a hit and run where it unlived some people.
Oh boy.
And even though that they had enough evidence and information to know that she was innocent, they arrested her anyway. They have ruined her standing in the community. I'll give you all a a link to this, and y'all can check it out. Y'all can listen to it here. But it's a big mess. Absolutely a major mess. They flogged her. Here you go. I'll read this off to you. Um, woman's
I don't know
placed
why
in
the
jail for
ACLU isn't all over that.
The woman was placed in jail for 13 days, initially charged with 8 felonies, after a flock camera flagged her Durango as the hit and run vehicle that, to 3 people. Um, she says she was extremely confused. I kept telling them they had the wrong person, the wrong vehicle. She said, read my EDR, fingerprint me, do anything you need to do. I was not involved. Officers had enough information at the time to conclude that she wasn't involved, but yet they still arrested her. 6 months after the incident, and after she sued the department for holding her car had 0 damage done to it, and it
They
was even the wrong color.
they didn't keep her in jail, did they?
They kept her in jail for 13 days.
Oh my gosh.
Her car was even the wrong color, had no damage. She says
Yeah, it was
there's
just based on flock camera.
no way of fixing what they did to me. It will always hurt me. My reputation is ruined. I'm still receiving threats. Um, Even the CEO has came out and apologized. The flock camera CEO. Um, he said this. No, it's horrible, and I apologize. Hindsight is a brutal tool. Hindsight is a brutal tool. Of course, we could have done more earlier, and we listen and we learn. We'll continue to move forward. I think I'm like many people that grew up in a safe neighborhood and assumed that our law enforcement wasn't perfect. 50 cities now have cut ties with lock cameras, by the way, folks.
Good.
Yeah. That tells you right here what all you need to know. This CEO here, he says, like many people that grew up in a safe neighborhood. He grew up, I'd say, as a little pampered rich kid in a gated community. And once he's got out into the real world, it scared him. So he's done these flock cameras. You see where I'm going with this, Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm going with that?
Yep. Big Brother's definitely here.
He's little. He was a rich, pampered kid, and he got out into the real world and figured out it wasn't the same as his little gated community he grew up in, and he got scared. So he helped do these flocks to be able to track people. All right, folks, the MAGA. I'm not aiming this towards anybody. Conservative activist Scott Pressler has been accused of violating Pennsylvania campaign finance laws. He spent years shrieking about voter fraud, and he was actually committing fraud the whole time. It's the people that are screaming the loudest about voter fraud are the people that is doing the fraud.
Yes, ma'am, Grayfon. I agree with that last comment.
But yeah, it's the
That's
people.
that's the next generation.
Mm-hmm. It's the people who are screaming top their lungs about voter fraud. They are the people that's doing it. Um, Now, listen to this. They have Mondora has came out and said they have the first ever positive phase 3 result for a personalized cancer vaccine, and it works. What they're doing is they're reading the DNA of your tumor. They find out what makes it unique, and then in the mRNA shot, it teaches your immune system to attack the cells that look like this. And it's very interesting. And even though that I don't like
Moderna,
Mondora, whatever,
Moderna.
this might save a lot of people's lives. Now listen to
Well,
this.
don't get me started on mRNA vaccines and
Yeah,
lipid nanoparticles.
but this one right here might actually work. Listen here.
Explain like I'm 5. Moderna made a cancer vaccine that is custom for every person. Doctors read the DNA of your tumor, find what makes it unique, then make an mRNA shot that teaches your immune system, attack cells that look like this. They combine it with Keytruda, a drug that helps stop cancer from hiding from your immune system. It just succeeded in a phase 3 melanoma trial. Not a cure for all cancer, but a pretty huge idea if it works for other cancers too.
Now that is very interesting. And on this news, the Mondora stock surges 110%. Went from about $65 to $130. Man, if you knew that they was going to do this, you could have made some money right there. You could have
I'm
dumped
sure a
you.
lot of people, some people did.
Yep. You could have dumped you a couple grand into there and doubled it. Well, folks,
You know, the problem with mRNA stuff is not the technique itself. It's not the approach. It's not the way that it works is the problem. The problem is the delivery system, the lipid nanoparticles.
Yep.
They don't go where they thought, or they don't stay where they thought they would stay. They thought they would stay just in the muscle, but that's not what happened. They go throughout the entire body.
See,
And then
Charlie is
there's this
very
little
knowledgeable on
problem.
this stuff.
Yeah. And then there's the problem with finding retroviral genes, which has a little protein called reverse transcriptase. And what that will actually do is take this messenger RNA, mRNA, that is supposed to be degraded quickly, and it is usually, but this reverse transcriptase, it can actually use that information and modify and change your own DNA. So your genome will get changed sometimes. They've proven that now. How reverse transcriptase and retroviral genes got into the system with the messenger RNA, boy, that's a big question. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox.
Need to start us make us some videos on this stuff, Charlie. You're knowledgeable about it. Go in and deep dive into some of this stuff, and we'll post them on Rumble.
Yeah, I could do that.
You could start your Rumble account too and post them over there.
I'm really busy right now with
Well,
the sermons, but I can get into it.
I can help you set up a Rumble account. See, Rumble is automatically monetized too, so you can make you a few dollars with
Hmm.
that.
I'm not really interested in the money. I'm just
Yeah,
interested in
yeah.
getting the information out.
Well, but you could take that and help with your prepping. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there's already so much out there uh,
There
with
is,
this
but
mRNA stuff. Listen to John Campbell, Campbell. He's been talking about this stuff ever since before the CV, and go look him up on YouTube. Very, very knowledgeable. He's got a lot of information.
yeah, no,
You
you
know who
are
John
too.
Campbell
So
is.
you need to share your knowledge with everybody. But
Well,
anyway,
I don't think I can do any better than he does.
all right, here is some more information about the Fifth Fleet.
The USS Abraham Lincoln has spent months struggling with supplies. Now we are learning something extraordinary about why. According to national security reporter David Rode, Iran destroyed the main U.S. naval logistics hub in Bahrain early in the war. But Pete Hegseth did not
Oh,
publicly
that's
acknowledge the
interesting,
scale
Retro.
of the damage. So while
Do you
Washington
see his
talked
comment
about
Hey,
there
I'm
on
winning
getting
Rumble?
sorry. I'm playing
decisively,
something.
Oh,
sailors
I have to
were
sorry,
replay
living
I
with
this.
can't
Just a
what
hear you.
second.
had actually happened.
Sorry,
But
folks. I have to replay this.
now we are learning something
Sorry.
extraordinary about why. According to national security reporter David Rode, Iran destroyed the main U.S. naval logistics hub in Bahrain early in the war. But Pete Hegseth did not publicly acknowledge the scale of the damage. So while Washington talked about winning decisively, sailors were living with what had actually happened. Food, hygiene supplies, mail. There is the war Americans are being told about. And then there is the one the US military appears to be living. Gandalf.substack.com/p/trumps-yes-m.
Is it okay for me to talk or not?
And there you go, folks. Wow, we went from 30 to 14 in here on U-Boops. I don't understand. But yeah, there you go. There is the war Americans are being told about, and then there is the one the U.S. military is living. And it's far different. Because, like all them satellite pictures I showed you all, what happened of our Fifth Fleet base. That's just that base. Now, I
You
can
see what Retro Spark just posted?
Ukrainian monitoring channels report that Russia could throw everything possible at Ukraine tonight. An absolute match. Yep, 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 yep. We need to watch that. And if that happens, I think I will come back on audio if I can.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Now, I've got something very interesting. We've got a 35-year-old Israel resident arrested in Greece over the Crete wildfire. He's accused of negligent arson after lighting a barbecue in a forest despite the ban. It carried embers and sparked the fire. Now that's the one that's been out of control over there in Greece. It's burned just a massive, massive amount. Let's see here. Wrong keyboard. Let me do it on this one. Now, this fire right here that I'm talking about, him, the Creek Fire, has destroyed. Hang on just a minute, I'm getting the info. Come on. I'm getting some info, folks. Just a minute. There's no specific figure for acres or hectares burned. Well, this fire over here in McCrete wildfire has its primary burn in agriculture land and olive groves. It's threatening property in the village area near Celia, Sellia. It's prompted evacuations of nearby settlements like Fonteri and Soldera, but was brought under control in about 4 hours. No houses destroyed. So this wasn't the big one, but I was talking about the other day. Um,
What the heck is wrong with people like that? I mean, there was a ban.
yeah,
What was
they
wrong
don't
with you?
think, but it's destroyed a bunch of farmland and olive trees. Now this is the different one. This is the strength from the much larger wildfire in the same broader southern Raftima region in July 2026, which burned thousands of hectares and destroyed homes. So this wasn't the one I was talking about. This other one was what I was talking about the other day. All right, the Latvian border. They have stepped up surveillance. Now I'll show you all this. Let me get back off of this, pull this back up. Now, we're going to start seeing more of this. They're going to step up border surveillance. Latvia is. After they've discovered these underground smuggling tunnels into Latvia from Belarus and over these drone incidents. Latvia has announced expanded use of drones for border monitoring. Prime Minister is calling for full drone surveillance, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, along the border with Belarus. As y'all can see right there, that is the flight path. Russians en masse are fleeing to Georgia today and yesterday over fears of aluminum mobilization after the state Duma elections. See, elections, I can't remember when they're going to be held. Let me see here just a second. They're August 15th and 16th. No, I'm sorry. September 18th to 20th is the state Duma elections. So, just like our midterms over here, after these, what you call the, I guess, midterms in Russia, the state Duma elections, watch and see if mass mobilization isn't announced. See, the same thing happened in 2022. Mirroring the 2022 partial mobilization panic that saw similar mass flights. The post highlights record Russian outflows to Georgia. Russian Federal Customs Service data showing 19,000 crossings a day on August 15th and 16th. 19,000 a day on August 15th and over 20,000 on August 18th, which is yesterday. But there's massive traffic jams on the Russian side. It goes for miles.
And that's into Georgia or Latvia?
Into Georgia.
Georgia.
Russians are fleeing. Hey, China. Let me pull this back over here. I'm gonna have to leave here in a little bit, folks. I got to go look at a
What
job.
are the Georgians doing about that as far as
They're not really doing
immigration?
anything. They're just kind of welcoming them in,
Boy,
from what I'm seeing. All right. China is suspected of helping fund pro-Palestine protests in Britain, with a U.S. congressional investigation examining alleged Chinese financial backing of the far-left activist group Cold Pink and its activities in the UK. Now I'm going to let y'all listen to this.
China is suspected of helping fund pro-Palestinian protests in Britain, with a U.S. congressional investigation examining alleged Chinese financial backing of the far-left activist group Code Pink and its activities in the UK. The U.S. House Ways and Means Committee is investigating the financial network of Neville Roy Singham, a wealthy American tech entrepreneur accused by U.S. lawmakers of financing organizations that promote Chinese Communist Party narratives around the world. Code Pink, founded by Singham's wife Jody Evans, has received millions of dollars from his network. Code Pink has encouraged participation in mass pro-Palestinian marches in Britain and organized demonstrations at the Ministry of Defence, an arms company's London office and the British RAF Air Base in Akrotiri, Cyprus. It has accused British leaders of being bought by Zionism, and also campaigns under the slogan, "China is not our enemy." A congressional source told The Telegraph, "We are aware that China is funding pro-Hamas and leftists in the UK and the US. That is why we are investigating it and will continue to do so."
Well, there you have it. See, China is behind all this stuff, too. A lot of these protests, even in the U.S., are backed by Chinese money. A lot of people don't know that. You got anything to say on that, Charlie? If you're talking, your microphone's muted.
no, not really. I think it just goes to reason. I think we've all kind of suspected that for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Amazing how the tinfoil hiders always seem to be true about stuff. Hey, folks.
Tinfoil hatters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Often they are.
According to senior Pentagon officials, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is considering the option of not rebuilding U.S. military bases in the Middle East and just kind of leaving. Well, the U.S. keeps on draining its strategic petroleum reserve. Can you tell me how many million barrels was drained just last week alone, Charlie?
Nope, negative.
5,
But I don't even know if I want to know.
5 million.
Gee,
Another 5 million barrels was pulled. Now, from what I have tracked this stuff, they're doing this to keep markets low, the price of oil down. And you can see these super tankers on these apps that you can watch ships, ship tracking apps. You can see them coming into the Gulf down here and just filling up. They hold, how many does them big super tankers hold, Charlie? Millions of barrels, ain't it?
yes.
So this right here is basically 1 or 2 ships worth they took out. It's going to be a lot of shock in the U.S. when we can't draw no more out of our reserve, because it's going to send gas prices to double digits when this happens. This Middle East, it's not coming back online anytime soon, folks. And when the Baltics kick off, we're going to lose our last supply of fertilizer. We're mortally up, you know what, creek with no paddle and the boat sinking.
I am very concerned about the fertilizer.
I am very concerned about fertilizer, Charlie. Especially with this GSM. We're going to need that.
We'll find out this harvest season.
It's going to be awful. It's going to be absolutely awful. And what's going to happen is the price of fuel is going to skyrocket about harvest time, too.
And that means everything else will too.
Yep.
Especially food.
I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if we don't see $8, $9, $10 diesel about harvest time. I would not be surprised whatsoever.
Truckers they'll just give up, because if they can't make any money, why do it?
Well, it's just not the truckers; it's the farmers.
Right, but I mean, getting stuff to market.
Yeah.
If the truckers can't make any money, why should they continue to do it? So not only will the prices go up, but we'll also see shortages.
Yep. 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 And it's going to be bad when all this. The chickens have to come home to roost, and they're going to come home to roost sooner than later. And then on top of all this debt, Charlie, we're having to buy back $4 billion now per operation of our own debt just to keep the markets from collapsing.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that this is, in part at least, being engineered to bring in the CBDC.
This is being really engineered by the Chinese, the BRICS nations,
yeah,
to collapse us over here. That's their ultimate goal, and it has been for a very long time. That's what they want to do, and that's what they're doing. And when we weaponized our dollar with all these sanctions and the SWIFT system, when we weaponized that in 2022, that's what started this mess that we're in. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I agree. The SWIFT system was when all that happened back then. That was a huge deal. If y'all don't know what the SWIFT system is, maybe you ought to explain that to them, dear Max.
Well, it's well, you explain it there, Charlie.
Well, it's basically a global network
Instant,
of instant payments.
yep,
Like
instant
you go to the
transaction
pump,
system.
put your card in. That it all goes through that SWIFT system. To when you put you slide your card at the gas pump or whatever. That system is required for all of that stuff to operate to go back to your bank and back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get a link for you here. Give me a second.
We weaponized that, trying to stop Russia from doing what Russia is doing. And it has backfired on us tremendously. I knew it would. When the moment that they announced they was doing that, I was like, yep, this is it right here.
Yeah, there's a link to the SWIFT system, guys, if you want to read about it. Anthony says, government subsidized trucking. Yeah, may have to go there,
Yeah.
Anthony.
But with what money, Anthony?
Same place money is now. It's it'll all be digital, and
I mean,
and that's the
we're
only way they'll
40
be able to control it.
we're
keep
$40
up with
trillion
it.
dollars in debt, Charlie. Where's it
Yeah,
going to come
but
from?
I mean, they're just with the CBDC. They don't have to print anymore. They can just put zeros in a machine.
It's still the same thing as printing now. It still affects the
Right. I mean,
markets.
it'll have the same effect. It'll have an inflationary effect. But the point is, it won't take as long, and it'll be a whole lot cheaper to do that. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's part of why they're going to the CBDC. And it'll ultimately result in much tighter control over our financial systems.
Yep. No more.
And our individuals.
No more having yard sales and not having to pay
Yeah.
tax on it.
Lemonade stands.
Anything that you do, you have to pay tax. Period. Now. Flea markets. More than likely, flea markets will come to a thing of a past type of deal.
Supermarkets already have the price tags. Instead of a printed price tag, they're like digital on there where you pick the stuff up.
Mine's all paper still down here.
Yeah, mine too around here. But a lot of these big chains they've gone to digital, and the prices will change throughout the day.
Yep.
And they could even change it when you walk through that door. If your
that's how they're going
ID,
to profile people too.
Yeah, when you walk through that door of that supermarket, if you don't have your credit cards or whatever in an RFID protecting case, they know you're in the store. They know where you're going. They know what aisle you're on. They can change the prices at the blink of an eye just for you.
Yep. It's going to be an absolute disaster, folks. But yeah, flea markets, roadside fruit stands, stuff like that will kind of become a thing of a past because of this. I do think.
I mean, you guys know me. If you've been around here on Max's channel for any length of time, you know me, and you know where my mind goes immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Anthony? I mean, it's just slapping us in the face right now, in my opinion.
Yep, it really is. And it's all coming to a head here.
Yes, Gray Fawn. Uh, yes, bartering will become very, very important, but it'll have to be kind of, just my opinion here, it'll have to be kind of under the covers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you barter like that, because they're not going to want you to do that.
Exactly. And this is coming faster than you all think.
Oh, I think the CBDC will be fully instituted by 2027 or in 2027.
It's the reason why I say y'all need to start hitting your flea markets, gardening tools, everything in the world. Remember, 1 is 0, 2 is 1, 3 is 2. Buy stuff in threes if you can. But cheap stuff, you can do that. Like axes, holes, shovels, rakes, stuff like that. Parts for your vehicle, parts for your lawnmowers, parts for your log
We just got
splitters.
we just got back from the food or the Veterans Food Pantry the other day. I must have 6 cases of creamy peanut butters stocked up on my shelves in the
Oh,
garage.
good. Also, folks, another thing, if you grow a garden, you might
Yeah, that's going to be important.
think about going ahead here within the next week or so, 2 weeks. Go into your local farm store. Don't buy it from the big supermarkets like Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff. Go to your local little farm and garden area and get you some fertilizer. You can get fertilizer for half of what you pay in big box stores at your local farm and garden place. Get you some 5-gallon buckets or get you a 55-gallon drum that's good and sealed. Sit it up off the floor, fill it up, seal that lid on there.
And if anybody has an above ground pool or an in ground pool, be sure and take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that could be very, very important water supply for you in the future.
I recommend that the gutter system that I have. I need to
Mhm.
bring that up to this new place. I don't have it up here, but I do have a little well up here. So, um, I got to finish mowing today. I got to run and look at a job here at 4. What time is it? 3:32. Folks, another 5 minutes, and we're gonna have to cut this off for today.
Yeah, I need to bail out too.
Oh, here you go. This is from Australia. I'll let y'all listen to this. Now, I'm not aiming this at Trump. I'm just saying we're just, this is what's being said. Now, this is from Australia. Let me get this here. Well, hello, Twitter. There you are. Okay.
Well, anyway, that's going. I'm going to back on out. I'll say goodbye to all you guys. Thanks for showing up. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the next one. And don't forget, we're still going to have Sunday sermons like normal,
Mm-hmm.
5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. Um, I am working on this new channel, and what I plan to do in the very near. I got it all worked out now. I'm basically ready to go live now with that channel, but I think Duramax is going to give me his stream key, and I'll just stream what I do there directly onto his stream on Sunday at 5. Isn't that how you got it planned out, Duramax?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, so I'll see you guys on the next one, and y'all have a lovely day. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.
Now listen to this a second, folks. Also, when I get back from doing this job, if y'all stick around on Rumble here, I'm going to we're going to go over all the flights that has been around the Baltic areas today when I get back. So probably about probably about 6 p.m. ish. But listen to this.
And you still dare to open your mouth. Sasha Legerman. This is too accurate not to share. This Australian's response to Trump's rant that NATO does nothing for America is absolutely devastating. Mate, you run a country where 600,000 homeless people will sleep on the streets tonight. A country where 40% of adults can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing money. A country where insulin costs more than a car payment, and people ration it just to stay alive. A country where medical debt is the #1 cause of bankruptcy. A country where women die in hospital parking lots because doctors are too afraid of abortion laws to treat miscarriages. You imprison more of your own citizens than any country on earth. More than China. More than Russia. More than North Korea. In the land of the free, 2 million people sit in cages, and a quarter of them haven't even been convicted of anything. They're simply too poor to afford bail. Your life expectancy is declining. You're the only developed nation where that's happening. Your infant mortality rate is worse than Cuba's. Your children practice active shooter drills between math and English classes while you sell defense stocks to your friends. Your minimum wage hasn't changed in 15 years. Your teachers work 2 jobs, your veterans sleep under bridges, and you just spent $1 trillion flattening a country that never attacked you. And now a convicted criminal, found liable for sexual abuse, defending a pedophile, sleeping with a porn star, and running the biggest dumpster fire campaign since the Taliban, is thanking you for yet another disaster. And you call Greenland badly governed. Greenland has universal healthcare, free education, one of the lowest incarceration rates in the world. Nobody there goes bankrupt because they got sick. Nobody dies in a waiting room because insurance refused treatment. NATO wasn't there when we needed them. When exactly was that, champ? September 11th. Because NATO invoked Article 5 for the first and only time in history for you. Soldiers from dozens of countries deployed, fought, bled, and died in Afghanistan for you. Australia wasn't even in NATO, and we still showed up. For 20 years. And then you left at 2 a.m. without telling anyone and left everybody else to clean up the mess. You don't care that a great nation is being terrorized by your friend, and you haven't shown it a single ounce of sympathy. So maybe before calling other countries badly governed, take a look at your own backyard, you aluminum siding salesman with a spray tan. The only thing badly managed.
Now, that's just an Australia opinion. So, take it as you wish. Now, Ukraine. Do you know that Ukraine sent soldiers to help us after 9/11? NATO, he says NATO wasn't there when we needed them. What exactly was that? September 11th? Because NATO invoked Article 5 first time and only time in history for us. Ukraine sent, let me see here. How many Ukraine sent? Yep. Have a good one, Michael. Also, folks, remember when I get back from looking at this job, I will be. We're going to go over top of all the flights around the Balkans today. So when it'll probably be about 6 p.m. When I get back from looking at this job, be looking for me about 5:36, and we're going to go over all these flights. Let's see here. Ukraine sent a significant contingent of soldiers to Iraq. Ukrainian personnel who served over the full mission with rotations over 5,000 to more than 6,000 personnel. Ukraine sent up to 6,000 personnel to help us. This was Ukraine's largest overseas military deployment since the independence at the time, and one of the bigger non-U.S. UK contingents in the coalition. So it was one of the bigger groups from the country, and the whole coalition that went over there. They helped us from June of 2003 to December of 2008. Ukraine also provided overflight transit routes for supplies and support over counterterrorism efforts. So, folks, we will see you all about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I have to run. I hope you got something out of this stream today. I had more, but I'll see. We may be able to cover that later. But keep an eye on the U.S. Treasuries. Keep an eye on the Balkans because it's really heating up. See y'all later. Thanks for being here. Also, folks, the ones over here on my U-boobs, take and go to Rumble. Here's a link to our Rumble. We'll post 2 links here. Go over to Rumble. You don't have to have a Rumble account to watch. The more people over there, the higher up in the feed list we are. So, with that, we'll see y'all later. Rumble stays live, by the way. See y'all later on YouTube.